Okay, just to continue, this would be number two on the CJ Jones thing. I had to check and see how long I could make a YouTube. So in any case, Jared talks about mental health. Many of you talked about mental health. I'm not saying that mental health, I'm not saying that CJ, if he had done it, was insane. And I'm not saying he was sane. I'm saying that the terms insane are cultural terms. I study how we come to know what is purportedly inside somebody's head, how they function, how we see, with the medical gaze, what's going on in there. And what I am claiming from the beginning is that it's not empirical. It's invisible. It's largely an article of faith. Usually it goes in a backwards direction. You see somebody do something crazy and you decide that crazy was the motivating factor. So even though the action precedes the diagnosis, you still see the diagnosis as having been there prior to the action. For me, that's not that different from what the Azandi do in finding, that a dream came to you from a neighbor and moved you around and caused you to go over to somebody else's tent and start getting busy. I mean, to me, it's still a non-empirical foundation for your belief. In effect, I guess I study faith, how you come to believe without scientific evidence, which of course I'm saying is better. Now, let's look at Douglas on the other side. Douglas, by the way, if you look at his piece, he's saying from the beginning, you can't start to um, just blame society and these larger things. And I think Andrea agreed with him. And again, I apologize if I'm getting anyone's name wrong. Just let me know. Um, I get called Brian all the time, and my name is Byron, so at least I can sympathize. Um, but then Douglas talks about something else, which is that how you respond to your social situation is a personal choice. So for me, this sort of brings up an idea of individual will, sort of a unitary self that's inside the body that then goes about making decisions uh, about how to respond to social circumstances. Um, and I want to say that that's sort of the other side of the magic, um, or the other massive magic category that we have. So there is this belief then that even though I don't choose my circumstances, my response to them is my choice. Now, part of my circumstances would have to involve how I've been taught, trained, socialized to respond in any particular situation. I've not chosen my teachers. I mean, most of the people that come into your life, that touch your life, aren't determined by you. You may select, to be sure, but you'll select from a field that is chosen for you. I mean, this was as if you could see a cow in a fenced off pasture having a choice because they can eat grass over here, or over here, or over here. And so, in that sense, they have freedom. Of course, the fence blocks them in. You can't decide beyond that fence. You have choice within a special confined space, and you can then go about choosing. Um, I would say that that's a wonderful thing to have faith in. Durkheim talked about that cult of the individual as sort of the secular religion for modern society. Um, but do you really have evidence of it? If your thinking comes within your language is here before you get here. All of your thoughts, your beliefs, your values, all here existing in the culture before you get here. Now, again, you may pick one or another, but seriously, I mean, if you were born in, and you may have been, if you were born in a different country, if you were born in India, Kenya, China, would your God be the same God that you have now? Would your tastes, preferences, the food you eat, the things that you like, that you crave on a cold, rainy day, would those things all be the same? How different would you be if your parents were in jail, or for some of you, perhaps out of jail? I mean, if your parents were completely drug addicted, would that have affected your life? If one or another of them had died at some point, how different would your life be right now if you didn't have the financial backing that you had, or if you had outstanding financial backing? How different a person would you be in your tastes, your preferences, your loves? Really, how much of your life is actually determined by you? Is there some